All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And hopefully, this is the last video I make on this situation. Fingers crossed. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about hoops, man. I want to talk about hoops, but obviously, this is the biggest story in the NBA right now, and hopefully, again, it's coming to a conclusion. So, after last night's preseason beatdown of the Blazers, Steve Kerr announces Draymond Green's punishment. He was fined. That's it. He was fined. He was fined. It could have been $5, right? Like the fact that they didn't release the amount lets you know that it wasn't significant enough of a fine for it to mean anything, right? But fine, but that again, this is smart moves by the organization. He was fine. Who knows? Maybe it was $5 million. Like it was probably like it wasn't much, right? In relative to his worth. So okay, fine. It's just a fine. The thing that Steve Kerr made very clear was that this was really the player's decision. Steph Curry and Kevon Looney orchestrated a meeting between Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, said it was very emotional, and gave them both a lot of credit for just bringing the team together and being the leaders. He even called Looney the moral compass of this team. Man, Loon is just worth his weight in gold, man. I hope he's got some stuff lined up on the side because of being a part of this team, if you know what I mean. So first and foremost, I think that the decision comes down to Jordan greenlighted it, right? And he made that clear. Jordan, this is probably best for him to move on this way. He doesn't want this lingering. And the longer Draymond's away from the team, the longer Jordan has to answer these questions, and it's a lingering thing. And so we know how he's wired. I spoke about it yesterday. He's a tough kid. As Kerr said, not much gets to him. And so I think that was the number one thing. Jordan had to be good with it, obviously, right? But I do think that there are some other parts of this. Ring night. How do you handle ring night if he's suspended? That's just a bad look, and that's just something that, you know, would be talked about for a long time, probably. Well, I won't say longer than this incident because this is documented on video, but I think that played into the equation. But I think another big part of this was ultimately the longer you alienate Draymond, and I don't want to make this sound like he's a victim, but the longer you alienate him from the team, the harder it would be to bring him back, right? Because not only is this a team with a lot of turnover, a lot of younger guys that probably know Poole better than they do Draymond, but they would get accustomed to him not being around. And then it just makes things more awkward when he comes back. Not to mention the fact, what would Draymond do with his free time? You know, what kind of podcasting and clutch type of shenanigans would he do if he was gone for a couple weeks? Right? And so, listen, optically, this looks bad. We can all agree, right? But internally, it's the best decision if they're truly going to try to salvage this relationship and move on with Draymond, right? And so it's like, hey, let's just take care of this right away. Let's get things back to normal, and so we can move on. And so us, the fans, the media, can stop focusing on it, because if Draymond's back, then we can move on. We can stop talking about it. His absence, it speaks so loudly, and it's gonna be an elephant in the room. But the problem, the risk in this is, if this does backfire and Draymond has another explosion, everybody's going to point back and say, well, they didn't punish him. There was no consequences when he did what he did. He could do what he wants, and so he'll do it again. So they are running that risk this season because the punishment there's been such a lack of with the punishment. But, you know, and I was shocked. I think we're all shocked. It was everybody thought it was going to be like 5 games or something like that, right? Something. But I credit the organization for doing what they feel is best for them and not worrying about the optics. Now, does it backfire? Does it work? Who knows? Maybe it brings them together. But yeah, I was shocked about it, and we'll see how it goes. I think we're all going to be body language experts here Friday in the dress rehearsal when he returns. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, man. What else? Yeah, I guess that's all. I wanted to touch base on this again. Hopefully, the next time you hear from me, we're talking hoops. We're talking hoops. I might gift y'all something that I had made in the past, this documentary movie or little thing here that I'll drop on YouTube later this week before we get into the regular season. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I know the narrative's going to be like Draymond getting away with murder. The Warriors are, people are going to shit on this decision, but it's one of those things where internally, if the players have made this decision, then I agree with it. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.